Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Obviously, all eyes on Iran. And joining us now is former Deputy National Security Advisor for President Trump, Victoria Coates. Victoria, fill us in on where is this headed? We're hearing from Trump on Air Force One that maybe they're talking, and then on the other hand, it looks like it's a mess in the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, good to be with you guys. Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely in something of a holding pattern right now through the funeral of Senator Graham tomorrow. I don't think the president wanted to sort of create a big drama before that event happened if he didn't have to. And we'll also have just a parade of world leaders through Washington over today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So he'll get to consult with Prime Minister Netanyahu, for example, President Zelensky. There's now a Ukraine angle to this war because of the northern Iranian port on the Caspian Sea, where the Ukrainians say they've interdicted some Russian weapons shipments to that northern port in Iran. So I think we'll get through the next couple of days. But the president also said today he doesn't have a lot of patience for this. He said the talks will either go fast or they won't. And then we're ready to go if that's what it has to happen, because the Iranians won't come to what he considers to be a good deal.
You know, Victoria, talk more about that, the shipment, because it's been really interesting to see, like you just talked about, these sort of two confluence of different crises. But then also there are reports that like Russia and China may be helping with targeting even some of like aspects on U.S. bases that may not be widely known, CIA sites. But talk about this new discovery by Ukraine that they're saying.
Well, the targeting is for sure, because Iran is definitely running low on missiles. If you look at the numbers they were firing off at the beginning of the war, well over 100 a day, they're now down to single digits. They're running out. But they're being much more precise about them. So I think you do have both Russia and China providing satellite imagery that they wouldn't have access to otherwise. And that's how we lost those folks in Jordan last Friday, very tragically for our country. But it shows you what the Iranians are up to. And then if it be true that the Ukrainians, who are very active on the Caspian, and everybody's got to get a map out, look at the Three Seas area, see how critical this is. And remember that even while we're so focused on the Strait of Hormuz and the western part of Iran, there is the northern part, and that can be a key smuggling route for them. We haven't really carried out any strikes there, but that's something we could very much expand if the Russians are trying to sneak things in through that route.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Vito.
Victoria, there's an old expression about the fog of war, right? And I'm curious about the fog of information. What are in your opinion, the key data points or the key points of information that you should be watching or listening to determine where this whole situation is going?
I always think, follow the money in a situation like this. So where are people spending money? If you look at the Russians and the Chinese, that satellite imagery doesn't cost them anything. It's something they already have. And so that can be a very low rent thing for them to provide, creates a nuisance for us, and they can pretend that they never did it. So they're not really investing. They're not putting their money where their mouths are. And at the same time, let's take a quick look at the Iranian economy. Some numbers I saw this morning. Their inflation rate overall is 88.6%. Imagine 88.6% inflation in the United States. We get upset when it's 4%. So 88.6 with food at 134%. All those folks last year squawking about the price of eggs. How would you like it if things went up 134% in your country? And meanwhile, your currency was becoming powerless. They're approaching 2 million rial for $1. So what little food there is, you can't afford to buy. And it's that is the situation that I think is building to a tipping point inside of Iran. Neither Russia nor China are stepping forward to fix it. That $300 billion slush fund that was sort of rumored around the time of the MOU, hasn't come to fruition. So that's where I would keep my focus.
Wow. Well, Victoria, keep us posted. We really, really appreciate it. It's such an important topic, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And like you said, I thought the same thing, too, that maybe things are a little calm. Lindsey Graham, the big memorial tomorrow. But it's interesting. All of this intel that you're also just talking about, too, is going to be very, very interesting. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you.